Hey my friends, it's a beautiful Saturday morning and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's your boy Banner, and today, here's what's happening. I'm going to do something with a little bit of a difference. I have two projects that I'm going to try to work on. Now note, I don't know nothing about concrete. I don't know anything about concrete, but I'm going to try. So let me flip the camera so that you can see what's happening.
Peace to all.
Alright, so what is happening here? This is a project an unfinished project that I got from Kenny, the guy who creates concrete bonsai pots for us. And as I say, there are holes and whatnot, but it is unfinished. You've seen exposed styrofoam here and whatnot. Exposed styrofoam to the back. So what I'm going to attempt to do today, with the help of my friend Kevin, who's on the side,
Peace.
and he just show you a peace side because he's not much of a cameraman. Right, what I'm going to do today, I am mixing a little bit of tin set, and I am going to paste the tin set onto this to try to solidify these things a little bit more. I'm going to cut a little piece of drainage screen and place it down into the holes. I'm holding the camera in my hand, so sorry for the bad camera work. And place it down into the holes to make sure that my soil don't run away and that kind of thing. So take a look at it. A nice piece of work. I have to identify what is a front and what is a back. This has a hole here, so I have to put something there to block that hole. And this is one. Now I have another piece of work. Let me show you that. This was a pot made by Kenny. However, this pot started to crack, unfortunately. Right? So what I'm going to do with this, and it had a couple air pockets, as you could see. So I've scraped it, and I'm going to paste this with some tin set as well, to reinforce this pot, because it's a nice pot, a real nice pot. I don't want to lose it. So that is the order of business today. So as I usually say, let we just go. Alright my friends, so I have the thing set up here, but what I had to do, this might be a little bit, I wanted to put something up here.
Put some up there?
No, I wanted to put a piece of styrofoam up here, but I'm going to do that last.
To make it higher?
Yeah, to make a little mound. Right, so what I'm putting all this. I thought tin set would have been more runny, you know.
No, it's according to the text. I can make it run if I add more water.
Okay.
So if you want it a little more thing, I could do it for you.
No.
Like it's just how it is, so it's sticking. Yeah. I'll bait like that so it wouldn't run too much. So go stick whenever you're sticking it. A little hose and thing.
Have a little more, have a little more play here.
Imperfections here, man. I like that. Yeah. That what you want, eh?
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
You have to pull the brush out. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So,
like a kind of flick.
yeah, like a dabbing.
Yeah. Before you did your personal profession, what do you used to do before? Because you look like you're handy with your hands.
I'm always good with my hands.
Yeah.
I was always good with my hands.
Serious?
So yeah. Before I got into the bank, I did electrical.
Oh, you're an electrician?
Well, it used to be.
Okay.
And well, you know, you're working on a construction site.
Yeah.
So you get plenty hands-on knowledge with plenty different things.
Of course.
But I grew up in a household where your hands was important. I like all this thing coming out.
Yeah, looking real good. That looking real good. If you want to paint that, boy?
Yeah, I had to paint it, but I had to get this a little to add character. Not no heavy paint.
Yeah.
But it had to look like a rock.
A
Because when it dry, it'll dry what? Kind of like gray.
Yeah, light grey. Correct.
Yeah.
Light grey. Yeah.
No, I don't want to
You
like.
wanna look?
No, I should have buy black spray paint too. But I have black paint. So I would dab a little black paint on it and then overlay the black paint. Okay, my friends. So this is as far as I've reached with the with this particular project. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it, but it has one hole for plants here for a tree, another hole for a tree here, and let me zoom out just a bit, and there's a little hole up here. So this could safely hold 3 trees. Now the tin set is pulling, and this is as far as I've gotten. I have a little bit of thing to do here. And funny enough, but apart from wanting to do something like this was also inspired by my friend Chris Marshall of CM Bonsai. Check him out. Good guy. And heavy conversations with my friend Bearded Bonsai, all the way in Australia. Where's St. David? Big shout. So I got this project, as I said before. I got this unfinished project from Kenny, and thank you, Kenny, for this. And not with my own knowledge, but the knowledge of others, I asked what is the best thing to do. And I was advised to use tin set. Not understanding how to use the tin set, I asked my partner Kevin, who right next to me. And here I am with this. So this is pulling right now, and when it is finished, I will flip it over and get the parts that I want the underneath parts. Apart from that, I need to put a piece of styrofoam up here in some kind of a design and stick it down and give it a good piecing, but this will go last. So as it is up right now, I'll see if I missed anything and try to go over, and when I'm finished with this, I'll move on to the pot. Yeah, there we go. Samsung. All right, my friends, so while this is drying somewhat, I have a block of styrofoam here that I got from a good friend Errol, and I'm just cutting out a piece of it. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to try to see if I could design. Right. So I cut out this piece, and this will fit on top here. However, I need to carve it out to give it some character to match what is happening here, because as it stands right now, this is way too smooth. So we're going to do that. Not going to keep it for that. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get a piece of wire to pass through it so that it stays on top. Yeah? Action time, Ollie. Action time. Alright, my friends. So while the mountain pot is drying, I'm going to start work on this here oval pot. So simple thing, I'm trying to make sense of it. My partner advised to put a little more water in it to make it a little more pliable. So I put a little more liquid in it, and I'm going to paint this one like I painted a wall. And the intention is for the tin set to go down into all of the grooves and reseal this pot. And when it reseals this pot, we should have a very, very nice, strong pot. Now, am I doing the right thing? I don't know. But all of this is part of the thing we're trying. You will never know unless you try. Yeah? Never know until you try something. So as this is the underneath of the pot, I kind of been a little bit generous with the tin set so that I could get good coverage, because as I showed you before, the pot had some minor imperfections that would become major issues later down. I am not, you might be wondering, and I'm going to alleviate that wonder, I am not too concerned about how smooth this pot is. It's already imperfect. I'm going to keep it that way. So this is this. Now granted, I have this here. Dab a little water on it. And I could smoothen it out ever so slightly. The thing is, again, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I'm doing something. Now, as I usually say, my friends, let me know what you think in the comments. You know, let me know what you think. Click that like button. It helps. Subscribe if you haven't, and share. So I'm leaving this to pull. I think I could turn this over. I don't think anything will go wrong with it if I turn it over, because there are legs. And I'm going to work on the inside of the pot. As you can see, I scraped the inside of the pot quite a bit, and my cameraman moving up the camera. So I'm going to work on the inside of the pot, and then I'm going to work on the outside. And I'm thinking to myself that this might be a little too deep for this, but say what? I'm going with it. Pouring it in set, and here we go. So I want to make sure that I'm covering all of the holes, and I'm keeping my drainage hole as free as possible, and I'm not reducing the space that I have, because if I over pour, I could reduce the amount of space that I have inside the pot. I'm using a paintbrush to paint on this tin set. It is going to be rough, but that's okay. I cool with it. So I'm not going to keep it for this entire thing. When we come back, we will see which is Alright, my friends, so this guy is back. I turn him over. I hope I'm talking loud enough for you all to hear me, because I do have one more microphone. And I'm going to start working on the base. And hopefully all of this work will not be in vain, and I would have created something really very nice.
Definitely.
And this could be the start of a new kind of adventure. And I mean in the sense that sometimes you know you want a pot for a tree, and depends on your accessibility and availability and price. You may not be able to get the exact pot you want or what you have in mind. With this kind of thing now, I'm thinking, you know, maybe I could make a pot. Just maybe. I mean, I still want the conventional pot, so I'll still be going up by Kenny for these concrete pots, but there are some things that I would want to put in an unconventional pot. And this, my friends, is a perfect opportunity to try that. I have tin set, I have concrete. You could mix tin set and concrete? Right. Kevin just let me know you could mix tin set and concrete, so you know what that means. Action. Action. So I put in some tin set on the feet as well because I want that pulling power. I want to make sure that this particular, I don't know if you're calling this a pot or I don't know what you would call this, but you gotta let me know what you would call this. But I want this to be really very nice and solid, and for it to pull and bind and last for quite some time. I think that was a song. This is as far as I reach. I just watered down the tin set a bit more, and gave it something of a, I don't know if you call that a dry rub or a wet rub. You know, and I'm giving you a 360 view on this. Right? Whilst this is drying so that I could turn it over. Yes, I'm forcing all of this into one video. Hopefully this video is not too long. Whilst this is drying, I am going to see about the pot on the side. Here is the pot drying. So I'm going to give the pot the same kind of wet rub type of a situation. And let me see what happens, you know. But I like how this looking though. It looking nice. It's looking like a very massive stone, but it is not. Oh, and it is light. Oh, wow. So refreshing to have something that is light. We're going on. I changed my mind. So I'm changing the texture of the pot outside. I want a rough texture outside. So that is what I'm doing now. I am applying and dabbing. Hopefully, this holds and it takes, and what I have at the end of it is a mighty fine looking pot. Have I seen this anywhere? No. But I'm thinking to myself while I'm talking to all you, and I was looking at it. Hey, wouldn't this look nice with a rough kind of a finish? So it is unevenly rough, and hopefully the result will be.
I jealous. You make me feel go mad. I do my pot on them one time. You get me mad right now.
Hopefully the result will be fantastic. All right, my friends. So. This is the pot it's pulling right now. I am really very excited about this. Very, very, very excited about this. Ooh-wee. This will be fantastic when it dries. This is going to be fantastic. And then I'm going to paint it. Hope I don't mess up the paint. Jeez, I hope I don't mess up the paint. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I am absolutely positively walking back and forth so that you could get a closer, much closer view. This is the tin set as it is wet. When it dries, oh, this could look nice too, bad boy. I confident in this way. Oh, wait. And the other one, the rock planting or the rock pot or whoever this is drying right now. So, only that is the day. That is the day. On that note, my friends, I know you want to see this come to an end. You want to see me finish this thing, but I gotta finish this thing a little bit later because they need to dry, and I can't keep it for that. Or I could give this I could give it a bit of drying and then come back at it later, but we will see what happening. But in case I do not, I will see you all soon. Remember, always remember, be good to yourself, be good to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. And remember that our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to change it for the better. If not for ourselves, let's do it for the future generations. Yeah? So if I don't see you later today, I will see you later. Alright, take care. Bye.